On the patio. I'm Dean. My buddy Soren is not here today, and we're very honored and grateful to have Mr. Tony Schiena live from New York on one of his many trips and journeys in his life. You might know Tony from his acting career that's been spanning for just a few days now into the years and decades, actually. But I wanted to invite Tony for a brief moment of time today to give him the opportunity to discuss and tell us about his involvement in law enforcement, both globally, locally in the United States, and basically across the world. And this person is sacrificing his time, his energy, in some cases his own safety and welfare to benefit the greater good of some peace and humanity that many people are losing these days inside of the world of politics and greed. And I wanted to welcome Tony to say thank you for that time that you're putting in. There is a motive behind this, and it's not about money and fame. It's about a general one-direction cause, and you're a one-man army doing this, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes. So, Tony, if you could share, I know you've got a history with giving instructions at NYPD, Merced County Sheriff's Department, many other law enforcement agencies, both here and abroad. And yes, you're a phenomenal actor. No one's going to dispute that. And you've been coined the modern-day James Bond. But you have a list of significant accomplishments, and I'd like you to share with people like myself that I'm connecting with what you're trying to accomplish, what you've already accomplished, and where you're going next, please.
Yeah, I mean, my background is obviously in security and the intelligence field, etc. So, I have a private defense company, so it's not all goodwill. There's an economic aspect to it. It's a business. So that is my core. We operate around the world, everything from asset recoveries and due diligence to conflict resolution, as well as your sort of traditional private military type activities. But my nonprofit is fighting human trafficking. That organization for many years, an organization I started with the then head of human trafficking for Scotland Yard. The organization continues to grow. We continue to do different verticals that we accomplish when it comes to awareness, to law enforcement, to creating artificial intelligence. So my world basically revolves around law enforcement and defense, and my nonprofit being fighting human trafficking. And now and again, I get the opportunity to go and make a movie, and that's kind of my hobby, and I try and do that maybe once a year if I can.
Yes.
And that works pretty well for me. It's a very good balance.
I see. Obviously, that balance is something that's been instilled in your dedication, your daily, you could say, your arsenal of routine and just being well-rounded in some areas of your life that you've worked very hard at, and that's what we were wanting to showcase today, that it's not just about the financial gain. There has to be an economic side to support this, but I don't think that's your motive at all to begin with.
No, I mean, making money, it's a necessary thing, but it's never been my objective to have a huge amount of money and fly around in private jets and yachts. My friends have them, so I don't need them. There's an old saying of you use your friend's jet and yacht, so it works pretty well for me.
Sure.
It's never been my main goal. Even when I was a kid, it's never been about money. It's been about experience.
Yes.
About experiencing, all that life has to offer. And that's made me a traveler and I guess an adventurer. So I'll go from, the worst places on the planet, from war zones or places with extreme poverty, to some of the wealthiest places. I'll go from sleeping under a tree to, sleeping on a super yacht. And that balance works for me. It's just like my career goes between the extreme reality of the defense business to the complete fake world of movie making.
Right.
And that balances me out, and it's about experience for me. It's about experiencing everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And I think that transparency is important because obviously you're dealing with two sides of the world. You're dealing with folks that are on this side of the coin that are hardworking. Doesn't matter to be Americans. It could be anyone in the world that are supporting families and living in the world. And then you have folks on the other side that have that ability to be insulated and if you will, isolated from the daily activities such as the violence and the crime. And it doesn't matter if you're in America or Belfast or Afghanistan. It's a global situation. I see your efforts aren't concentrated or focused for one thing in particular. You're spreading your expertise and your humanity towards these hot spots, almost like a firefighter. And I appreciate the time that someone is doing something using their platform, just as other folks have done on a scale. For example, if you don't mind me comparing you to the likes of Bono, he's made very great impact with his stardom as a rock star, touching the lives and dealing with political folks that have a difference. And I see you're doing the same, and that's very, very respectful.
It's a necessity, if you're blessed with a certain lifestyle, it's almost, it's a responsibility to sort of spread that wealth. If you can do something, you have the ability to do something, then you should go out and do it.
Well,
It makes you, just evolves you as a person.
Sure. You've definitely done that, sir. You've definitely done that, and that was the reason we wanted to invite you today, to be our guest, to explain to folks that haven't necessarily heard of who you are and what you're doing, to raise that awareness and spread it on an organic, grassroots level, not because of what you've done on the make-believe screen, but on the real-life, boots-on-the-ground screen.
Yeah, it's important. I can't exist just in the make-believe world. I need my foot in, or one foot at least in reality. The other
Sure.
one is like, it's kind of like, it's the gift to me. It's like, okay, you go and do some good work somewhere, and then, you go out and you play make-believe and run around and pretend to be somebody, and that's very cool.
Yeah.
And it's good for me. It's the way, it works for me. It makes me more complete. Yeah.
Well, we greatly appreciate all the hard work, both on and off the screen. But on the screen is wonderful, and we've enjoyed your movies. My wife and I have followed you for a bit of time. But off the screen, behind the scenes, where the social media and the real media, if you will, doesn't get to follow you and see the craters and the divots and the holes that you're making into the progress that a lot of politicians and if you don't mind me saying, the media doesn't want to hear about. And so we're very grateful for your time. I hope that the people that we're trying to touch will find out who you are and follow your direction and support your cause. Maybe we can get enough people to support Tony to where the reciprocal value of you supporting us is
Right.
equalized.
Yeah. Hopefully that energy will flow.
That's exactly why we wanted to reach out. And again, very grateful for your time. And on your next batch of travels, all the best to you. And we really greatly appreciate what you're trying to achieve.
Very welcome. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for being a guest on the Patio. You're welcome to check in, and if there's something we can do to support your cause and your messages, we'd love to have you from time to time.
But I'm the guy on the patio. You're in the room. How does that work?
Well, Tony, here's
See, there's the patio.
here's the patio where we're stationed at today is overlooking this, and unfortunately, our connection is not the best.
All right. All right.
So
Good.
I could take you upstairs and
All
give
good.
you a tour, but I'm concerned about the connection today. But,
All good. All
yeah,
good. All
no,
good.
thank you very
Great.
much.
Very welcome.
I hope all the
See
best
you
to you,
again.
and thank you for making this happen today.
Very welcome. Good talking
Thank
to
you,
you.
Tony.
Bye bye.
Take care now.
Bye.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.